Hello and welcome to the 153 podcast. I'm your host, Camille Babin. Thank you for joining me for another session. And today I want to share something from my latest book that is called 153 The Great Catch. That's actually where the podcast name came from. So the newest book is 153 The Great Catch, and it will be available on June 3rd. That's when it released, but it's already now ready for pre-order. So I will drop the link in the comments so you will be able to get your copy if you will. But really, what it's all about is the conversations that we can have or that we get to have. And I call it unmasking leadership because it's really about those secret struggles, the private battles that we face. And we don't always find room or we don't always find the space for it. And if you remember a few episodes ago, I was talking about leaders need their fitting rooms, and it's kind of like that. And I'm really, really excited about what's coming up because I will start a 153 circle, and it's really having that community where we get to share and it's not just me talking, but we can have that back and forth conversation. We can have the guidance, we can have the challenges also and the accountability, everything. So I'm really, really excited. So I will drop that link as well in the comments so you can join the wait list and have more information as we move along. But I foresee this one being launch at least next month, right after we do the book. So I'm really, really excited. Maybe I don't show it that much, but I'm super excited about this season. But anyway, let's just jump into what I want to share with you today. And it's called Borrowed Vision. That's exactly the title of the story in the book, because the book is really a collection of stories that unveil, and it's really conversation starters. I know I can write everything that I want to in a book. Otherwise, it would just be way too big and nobody will read it, right? So to make sure that you read it, I just kind of brush off certain topics. And I know that that's why I'm providing the space where we can go deeper with these conversations. But as I was going through and I was really praying and wondering what to talk about today, what to share. And this story just popped up. And honestly, it's not necessarily the one that I would have chosen. To be honest, I don't even know what to choose when I read. I'm like, okay, this one maybe, that one. But this one came and it was really strong in my spirit. And it's not necessarily the way that I've written, which is perfectly fine. But I want to start by just reading the first paragraph first, and then we'll just move in the direction that I'm really feeling led for this one today. So I read, a few months ago, I heard a gentle whisper in my heart. You are working in someone else's field. It hit me hard. It's not that I was doing something inherently wrong, but because I've been so focused on helping others with their assignment, I didn't notice what was happening. I was wandering away from what I was called to build myself. So I know maybe you like, oh my God, where is she going already? That was personal to me. I'm just starting off, like that, right? You know me, I don't wear gloves necessarily. But that's really what I heard for me a few months ago. And again, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And it caused me to review and to reassess where I was, pouring, and the things that I was involved with, the things that I was doing, where I was giving my focus, my attention, my energy, my time, my commitment. And I just had to reassess and pull back a little bit because it's so easy to get excited about a new project. It's so easy to get excited about someone's vision, and that without before we realize we're already in, and we've left what was ours, again, like I said here, to build and to focus on and to do. And although I start with this, and that's, I kind of go just a little bit deeper in the book, but today that's not where I want to go. We start there, but there's just a detour that I want to make. Why? Because I felt in my spirit as I was talking about and thinking about that borrowed vision, the image or the situation that I was seeing, that I was visualizing, was more the people, and it's many, it's not just one person, but it's those of you that have not necessarily chosen the field that you are in. What am I saying? Maybe you were born into a family of doctors. So that was just the path for you. It's like you didn't have any choice but to be a doctor. Maybe you were born into a family of, I don't know, if it's jewelers, and it's like that's the family business. You just have to go on. Whatever the case may be, fill in the blanks. You know more than I do, but that's what I was seeing. I was seeing those that kind of inherited their profession or inherited uh, the vision. That's why I called it, I see it borrowed vision. It falls also under that category. Why? Because it's not necessarily yours. You didn't choose it. Maybe in the beginning it was fun and it was okay because when you are growing up and you see your parents doing something, you feel like I'm going to do that too. If your parents were builders, you're like, I'm going to build as well. I want to build with my dad. I want to do this. Or maybe you're a family of bakers, whatever the case may be. It was just natural to you to follow that path because it's like that's what we do. This is who we are, and you kind of identify yourself with it until now, or maybe recently you start to feel in your heart that you know what, maybe that's not for me. But the thing is, everybody else, they look at you and they look at your situation in your life, and it looks desirable. It looks like that's the perfect life. Everybody, wants that. So many people work so hard to get to where you are, to have the things that you have, and even to achieve the things that you've achieved. And it's not like, it's not to say that you are ungrateful about what you have and what your family was able to do, but it's just that it's not you. It's not you when you feel like there is more. I'm called to more. I want more. I want different. And it's hard for you to even say those words out loud because you feel misunderstood. You feel like it's as if you're complaining, and again as if you were ungrateful. Like, how can you not appreciate what maybe your parents or your grandparents have worked so hard for? But I want to invite you, or maybe today I think that's really the goal of this episode today, is to give you permission to just stop and drop it all off, to give you permission to acknowledge where you are and how you feel and what's happening right now. You're not saying that this is bad. You're not saying that it's not working, like, for the family. But what you're saying is, this is not me. I realize that I've been running maybe all of my life, pursuing someone else's dream, making someone's vision happen, working on preserving the legacy. And I'm all for legacy, but at this point, I want my legacy to be different. So if that's you, that's why I'm here today, because honestly, I didn't mention that in the book at all. It wasn't my vision of the bowed vision. It wasn't what I saw. But when I was getting ready for this episode, especially, that's the burden that I felt in my spirit. And I could tell that if that's the burden I feel, then there's someone who needs to hear it. And maybe it's not exactly the way I've described, but there are other things that, maybe it's like it's normal for you, or it's tradition. It happens in your family. That's how you guys behave. That's what you do. That's who you are. That's how you show up. And you just feel like it's too much right now for me, or maybe it's too little. That also can be the case. It's like, this is not me. Whatever the case may be, you feel like it's just not you, and you don't know how to disconnect from it. You don't know how to detach yourself from it without detaching yourself from the family, without renouncing or rejecting the values that your family holds so dearly. I don't know who this is for, but I feel like, and I see like you are almost in a trap, and you're like, yeah, but how would I look like, if I just walk away from all of that? And some part of you even are still afraid of what is your dream? What is it going to look like? And maybe you wonder, is it too late for it? I've worked so hard already in this is what I know. Maybe I don't like it that much as my parents do, or, maybe my siblings, but that's all I know. At least that I've tested, I've tried, and I know it works. It may not work for me internally, but at least it gets me what I have, and that's how I've been able to provide for my family. And that's, you have that safety net with that. And now it feels risky, maybe too risky for you to leave it all and just start something new and just venture out. But my whole book of 153 is all about that. Maybe you've never heard of it. Maybe you don't know and you're like, what is 153? What kind of number is it? Trust me, it's not a magic number. But it's just what it means, like the same way you have a 180 turn, or 360, however you want to, whatever you want to go with, but it's just a shift. That's what it symbolized, because it comes from a story in the Bible, and it was about the disciples. And you have specifically Peter. He had been a fisherman, I can assume, all of his life. That's all he knew. He was a fisherman and described as, and I think he was excellent and skilled fisherman. But he reached a level and a point in his life where he was fishing, and he and his companions that were fishing all night, and they didn't catch anything. And you will think that, I mean, if that's his profession, he knows the sea, he knows the ins and outs, he knows the best places, right? It's like he has a special trick. He has, his skills are just so great, and they already developed that fishing shouldn't be a big deal. Maybe he's not going to catch that much, but at least he should get something, right? You will assume. But that night, the story tells us that he didn't get anything. They didn't get anything. And then you see Jesus appear on the scene and ask him the question, like, have you catch anything? He said, no. He said, okay, cast your net on the right side, on the other side. It's actually on the right side. And, part of him was like, what are you talking about? We've already done that all night. But they obeyed. And because they did, you know what happened? They were able to haul 153 large fish. So that's really where the number 153 came about. That's where it comes from. But for us, what it symbolized, it's abundance, but it's abundance that is tied to obedience. It's abundance that is tied to alignment. It's about walking in purpose. It's about walking in freedom. It's about walking where you are free, but it's not free for you to do whatever, but it's free to express yourself the way that you were designed. You are free to build what you were called to build. And there is no shame. There is no apology for it. There is no guilt. And that's what I want to bring to you today. I want you to receive that and understand that, yes, it's okay. Maybe when people ask, you said, I'm making a 153 shift. And maybe that's where you are. That's really why I said, and I shared that before. That's why I have this burden, even with my 153 circle. It's not for everyone, and I do understand that. But if it's for you and you feel like that's the place that I want to venture, I want to try, I want to see what's there for me. I want to be able to unpack and to address those different things that maybe not everybody will understand. Maybe, it's the things that I can say in my circle. I can say with my people. I can share it with my friends or my family, because they won't get it. They won't understand, and they will misjudge, right? So that's really where we are now. And I sense that so many of us, it's like there are things that we've done, and whether they were great or not, it doesn't matter. But you just sense a pull to something different. You sense a pull for something different, something new, something. It may be scary. It may be scary, and it's not guaranteed at first, but it's like you just know, like inside of you, there is this knowing, there is this, you just can't, you don't even have a name for it, but you're like, I just know that this is what I'm supposed to do this season. This is what I need to try. This is where I need to go. So that's why way I'm inviting you, because when I talk about Bao Vision, I also want to tell you that it's time to live your own life. It's time for you to focus on your own vision. And so many of us, sometimes we find ourselves wanting to help so much and wanting to serve others. And there is nothing wrong with it. It's actually great to serve. That's what we call to do, right? We are servant leaders. But we also want to make sure that as we serve others, we don't lose ourselves. Because I think that's what happens so often. You serve, you serve, you serve, and then at the end, you become resentful. That's not true service. True service doesn't happen at your expense. True service doesn't come and steal away from you. True servant, like to be a real servant, even a servant leader, it means that you will also lead by example. It means that you are showing people what it is to walk in obedience, to walk with authenticity, to walk with grace, so that what you do flows. It's not something that you have to struggle and to strive for. It's not something that you have to force to make happen. Why? Because it doesn't come from you necessarily. It flows from the Spirit of God through you. And we have too many people that are working right now and they are just, like wearing themselves out, trying to prove a point, trying to keep up with appearances, trying to meet people's expectation and people's demand. And at the end, they are so unhappy. And I don't want that to be you. Maybe you like too late. I'm already there. I'm already feeling that, or maybe it's happening. It's like you're starting to feel that like that now. And that's why I'm here today. Again, I know my message is very, sometimes what I share is it's really not for everybody. It's very selective and I'm aware of it and I'm totally fine with it. But at the same time, I will not let go of the people that need to hear it just so I can please other people. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it's for you, my prayer right now is that you will heed this word and that you will seek out and search, what do I need to do? What do I need to do next? Where do I go? And that's why I'm here. If you don't have these answers, then I want to partner with you. I want to join and lock hands with you, lock arms with you. And together, let's just seek out the answer. Let's just go deeper, in finding what's next for you. What does your next look like, even if it has nothing to do with what you've done all of your life? And I know it's scary. I know that it's not something that everybody welcomes and everybody claps for. But anyway, who cares at this point? Because you're miserable anyway. So you might as well being miserable, in the beginning by doing something that you believe in your heart that connects with what God is calling you in this season. And people will not understand because let me tell you, those fishermen, it didn't make sense to them at first. They're like, come on, we've been on the sea all night. You think there is a spot that we didn't go? You think there is a place that we didn't launch our net? Really? We did all of that. But still we didn't get anything. But it wasn't the right timing. He wasn't with the right person. He wasn't with the right instruction. As soon as the master appeared on the scene and he told them, cast your net on the right side, everything shifted. And I think that's the same thing that is happening for you. Everything is about to shift for you now. And again, it's not like magic. It's just because now you are finally making the decision to be obedient. You are finally making the decision to trust. And maybe you say, that faith thing is not really for me. But let me tell you, faith is for everyone. Even if you don't acknowledge you have faith in something, you've been doing something for maybe the last 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 40 years of your life. If you didn't have faith in it, then why did you do it? So we may not place our faith in the same thing or in the same person, but we all, I think, are people of faith, whether we acknowledge it or not. So today I want to invite you to use your faith differently. I want to invite you to use your faith to just step out and start living your own vision. Maybe researching that. Go for it. Go for what is it that I kind of distanced myself from, or I just was trying to hide away and I was trying to stifle. And maybe you didn't do that on purpose, but you wanted to convince yourself so much that what you were doing is what you're supposed to do, that you didn't take the time to question. You didn't take the time to assess and to see what it is that you really want to do, that you are really called, that will make your heart beat, or maybe you already know, but you've been afraid to just step out. So now is your invitation. I don't want to be long. That's all I have today. I want you to think about these words. What vision am I living that is borrowed, that is not mine? What am I sacrificing for this? And is it really worth it? Do you see yourself doing that for the next 10, 20, 30 years? If you don't, then it's time to just turn around and to shift. So that's my invitation to you today. So if this message blesses you and encourages you, and maybe you feel like you want to talk a little bit more, I have my link in the comment you can reach out. You can visit my website and be able to reach out. And I would love to have, even if it's like just a 15-minute clarity session with you, and let's go through it and then see how we can get you on the right side, or how we can maybe bring just some clarity to you. So that's really my prayer today in my heart for you. And if there's someone that you feel like is in this season, that's what they're looking for, feel free to share with them. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm sure they will also appreciate you thinking about them and sharing the love with them. So by God's grace, I'll be back next week. I don't know what we'll talk about, but I'm sure you will be interested. It will be interesting. Maybe it will be another story from my book. Who knows? I don't know. But in the meantime, don't forget to visit it and get your copy because there are other stories that I think will also help you. God bless you and you have a great day.